Alright guys, welcome back to another Kohan Duels video. Today we have a game between myself, Zeza, and a new challenger has approached, BoNT. BoNT has done a lot for the Kohan community. If you've ever seen any of the guides on Steam telling you how to get this game running, it was him who wrote all those, so he's been a big help to everyone and runs the European Kohan Discord channel. So, great guy in the Kohan community, and I was happy to kind of get him in on Kohan Duels and get to play some games with him. So here we go. Let's start off, see what's happening. The map is Destiny. Start off with a Slan near you. Ancient Ruin over here. Pretty standard map. There's Haroons kind of closer to the middle. There's these gold and stone in the corners, and there's gold and wood kind of as the contested areas in the middle. And then there's these monster layers that have shadelings there. All right, let's start off and see what everyone is up to. Zeza over here as Nationalist, and BoNT over here as Royalist. Immediately coming out with Settlers there, and a Woodmill. And over here on Zeza's side, immediately going with Scouts, and they're going to get out as soon as possible, and starting with the Woodmill too. And wasting absolutely no time in going for those ruins. He's going to get them fairly quickly, and a good chance he might be able to steal BoNT's ruin. BoNT is sitting pretty over here, waiting for his Carpentry Guild to get up. Presumably after that, he might get something with the second supply. He'll probably upgrade. Settlers are almost done here, and look at this. The Scouts are going over here, going towards that Ancient Ruin. And over here, Scouts coming out as soon as the Carpentry Guild is up for BoNT. Short Scouts, both of them going right for this Ancient Ruin, and oh, Zeza steals it by the skin of his teeth. That's definitely the point of this build, is to get those Scouts out early to try to steal your opponent's ruin. But back over here, let's see what's going on. Carpentry Guild into market, and then into an upgrade. Nationalists, of course, only have one supply, so they are waiting until the upgrade happens until he can get some Settlers. Over here, BoNT's first Settlers are getting a village. No surprises here. Both Scouts are just going out and looking at the map, doing what they can for scouting, unveiling that fog of war, or unveiling the map to create that fog of war through which they can see any settling that happens. Over here, BoNT is immediately getting a market. And finally, the upgrade happens for Zeza, immediately getting those settlers that are a lot later, and going for a bank. So it looks like he's going to start getting econ here, getting that second settlement, and just building up. And the same thing that our Royalist player BoNT is doing. So immediately going for a workshop and going for a woodmill. Workshop is a really good building that is available only to Royalists. As you can see, 6 stone, 6 wood. So that's literally a not an iron export, a blacksmith, a woodmill, and a quarry all in one building, which is amazing. It costs a good bit, but it's worth it. Over here, Zeza's going for the iron export. Like I said, just going for econ there. Scouts are continuing to move around. For both parties, they're getting to see a good bit of intel. And over here, Lancers and Archers coming out. This is the beginning of BoNT's army. Scouts get hit there. With a Woodmill and Carpentry Guild, he can afford all this no problem, and still has wood to spare. So let's see what he's going to do with that soon. He's just about out of money, but he has money coming in, and he has this nice, sizable military starting, in which he's going to be able to take layers and take Indies. Important to note, he's about 70 gold down from what he should be because of Zeza's steal. Going over here to Zeza's side, let's see what he's up to. Got that quarry, and immediately is getting a library. Settlers here about to build, and with that free supply, I imagine he's going to get engineers. And let's see what he's going to do here. Only 50 gold, so it's kind of tough choices for what he has here. And that library is an interesting choice. He's definitely going to do something with it. There's no other reason he would get it this early. Scouts are continuing to move out, and as the army of BoNT here continues to get up, they are going to very soon go and take an Indy. And his econ is pretty low right now, so he's really relying on this military to do something to be able to get him some more buildings, because he's been sitting on the same components for a pretty long time. And over here, Scouts are disbanded. Interesting choice. Apparently he wanted to free up that wood, and he just had no more use for him. And here we go. Nationalist engineers are coming out, and they have mage support. So that is basically the crux of this build, it looks like. Going for that quick scout to steal ruins, getting the settler as soon as you can, doing what you can off of these lower amount of settlements, and getting this pretty powerful engineer group. They're going to take this gold mine, presumably, as soon as they can, and they're going to be the start of the military, too. Engineers are pretty good for a utility unit. They're very powerful. A lot better than you could ask for sure. And with those mages in the back, they're going to be formidable. And Zeza is sitting over here at plus 50, back to this plus 18 of BoNT. So Zeza is much higher on economy. BoNT, however, now has his army up, and he is going to be able to start taking these indies. Lancers for the front line, archers to do damage. He's going to have no problem with this Slan. And moving over here, let's see what else he's doing. He turned this into a wood export. Wood exports are great, kind of mid-level econ. They cost a lot less than an iron export, and will give you plus 10 instead of plus 15. An important part of a law strategies, especially in a format like this where the money amount that you start with is so much lower, you really have to conserve. You have that 575 to start with, and from there your money's going to rise a lot more slowly. So the question is, what can you do with that 575 before it runs out to get your econ up and to get military up? And so wood exports are pretty damn good at that. Moving back over here, scouts are up and back in supply, lancers are back in supply, and archers are over here. Now moving over here, shadeling's moving out, and look at this. We got another engineer party coming from Zeza. He's going pretty much mass engineers, and with this patch, that is pretty much what nationalists are able to do. They have the unit nationalist engineers, which are just a slight upgrade over regular engineers. They do, I think, 2 more damage. They have about 2 more move, and the biggest thing is they build at 150% speed. So instead of every strike building 10 health on an outpost or a mine, every strike will build 15 health. So they're able a lot more effectively than other factions to really use those nationalist engineers, Moving over here, let's see what BoNT is up to. Got his Slan, immediately getting that woodmill there. Presumably that is going to turn to a carpentry guild to start to get buildings there. Aside from that, he is just sitting on his military and sitting on his econ. 38 econ to 48 for Zeza. And Zeza's got this first short infantry party. Now with that, he has a formidable enough party to confidently be able to take indies and layers and to have a skirmish with the opponent. I feel in this game that there's often kind of just that tipping point, and it's usually of a third party. You can certainly do plenty with 2 parties, especially as you saw with BoNT. Like Lancers and Archers, that was enough damage, enough DPS, enough of a frontline defense to be able to take an indie, no problem. Engineers are not quite at that level, so getting this short infantry is just that little bit that he needed to push him over the edge. Going over here and immediately getting an outpost, I'm going to try to take this resources in the middle. BoNT is starting to move out with his army. It's unclear whether he saw that, but he did a lot of scouting, so it's very possible that he is seeing that outpost going out right now. Neither player has taken these layers yet, and Zeza is still not taking his indie. So it's 2 settlements against 3 right now. 48 against 61, there we go. Just got that gold mine in that outpost. So BoNT has a bit of an army right now. I'd say they're pretty evenly matched, honestly. Scouts and Lancers are bulk, they're fast, but they're not particularly threatening. The Archers are going to be able to do a lot of damage in the back. Excuse me. Then again, neither is Zeza's army particularly effective. Going for an outpost there, I don't think he saw that BoNT's army was that close. I think he just kind of blindly went to build an outpost to take that Haroon. As soon as he sees that army, he decides to run away. Could have engaged, probably wouldn't have worked out though. He has the safety of this outpost that he's going to move back to. Moving over here, everything's the same. This got a mining post and a blacksmith, and that blacksmith is supposed to do it for the infantry. So no real econ buildings there, just supporting his army. His army taking stone and infantry, as you can see. BoNT getting more settlers who are presumably going to go and start to settle up north. Getting a blacksmith there. Oh, sitting on a wood export, so not taking the carpentry guild, but just going straight for the wood export to get that more econ. And at 1, 2, 3, 4 settlements, going for a 5th against Zeza's 2. This is starting to get a bit scary for Zeza. BoNT is taking control of the map in a pretty definite way right now. And that is definitely the way to play Nationalist sometimes, to do this really slow move out. But never taking that Slan might be kicking him right now. Plus 58 econ against plus 58 econ. They are neck and neck in econ. And again, their armies are pretty similar. And over here, engineers are coming in. Zeza had done enough scouting to see that this village went up. And so immediately does not hesitate to take it. He knows the army is out of position. He knows it's a fast enough army where they can get there. But putting all of Zeza's army in press position, he wants to just take this settlement and then get the hell out of there. Infantry going down to try to stop any oncoming forces. Engineers are going to take this no problem. There was no time for the militia to get up. Everyone coming in here. And look, the counterattack decides not to go and try to save his place, but BoNT instead counterattacks Zeza, goes up to these outposts, which are fairly fresh and do not have full militia. So it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a trade going on here. Zeza is going to easily take this village right here. BoNT, this militia is holding off pretty well, but it looks like he's going to be able to take that too. So what's going to happen? Who's going to make the first move? Is someone going to run back to save themselves? Over here, Zeza still has nothing new going on in his camp. BoNT has nothing new. He has infantry coming out, actually. We're just going to bolster his army even more. And with this infantry coming back out, BoNT decides to retreat. His army was just about decimated. It was a close battle, and that infantry kind of came out. I'm sorry, that militia came out just at the right time. Zeza is sitting pretty over here on his new settlement. And so now with 1, 2, 3 against 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a lot more even. Change it from 5 to 2 to 4 to 3. So 43 econ for Zeza against 58 for BoNT. Decides to hold the settlement, putting out the outpost and repairing it. He could have easily just raised it, moved away from there, gone back to his homeland, but now he's decided to spread himself out on the map a little bit more and hopefully gain a bit of control here. More settlers are coming out right now, and they are, again, going to go with that agenda of continuing to take control of this map. BoNT moving back up to try to reclaim his lost village. This infantry is going to put his army in a much better position. Infantry, archers, lancers, and scouts. It's 4 parties, and none of them are particularly threatening, but together they're going to be enough. And as you can see, Zeza's army also not particularly threatening. It's the same army that it's been. Got settlers. He chose to use his money instead to get an outpost and get settlers instead to try to up his military. And Zeza's going to poke out and see what's going on. I don't think he thinks he's going to win this battle, but he wants to know what BoNT is up to and try to do some damage. And immediately when he sees that the army is there and a village is there, he's going to move right back to his outpost in his new village. And over here, a new settlement coming up. And, oh, that gold deposit got destroyed at some point. I think there's a good chance Zeza did not even notice that. At plus 45, he is now behind the plus 58 of the Royalist BoNT. And getting Slann out with those Slann Mystics, that is going to be huge. Slann Mystics are so good, man. All they take is a quarry and a temple. So you can literally just drop a quarry and a temple at your Slann. You have 2 components to do whatever else you want. Econ buildings, more supply buildings, not supply buildings, resource buildings. And you can have that amazing party of frontline Slann, cleric, Slann Mystic. It's so good. Over here, Zeza is again trying to hold the map and do some more, trying to gain an advantage here now that he has BoNT pinned a little bit. Has a fort there, has his infantry, and has the militia there. He's feeling okay if any attack comes. These engineers did go over there, take that layer, and they're going to start moving back. What is he going to do with that money now? This settlement is going for wood export and moving in with BoNT. Let's see quickly if he's doing anything else back here. Nope, those are all looking the same. And we got a struggle happening here. Infantry, Slann, and archers are immediately going up, making that front line. And presumably he's going to just hold tight with his cavalry until they're needed. The front line of BoNT is a lot better than the front line of Zeza right now. Zeza has the militia, which is definitely going to help him. And there come the infantry charging in. Sorry, the cavalry charging in, and they're going to go straight for that back row. Destroy those spellcasters if they can. They were aggroing the militia, which was a little bit unfortunate, but enough where he's going to be able to take down those damaging spellcasters. And no, actually he doesn't. Both parties are forced into a retreat. The Lancers have to move back, but the Slann are doing so much damage. This militia cannot get back, and with the archers there, the militia are just entangled, sitting ducks to just be pummeled at by the archers. And militia going down. Zeza decides he's not going to win this battle. He raises that village and just runs away. Over here, a mild annoyance. Some Shadelings coming up, and Zeza has gotten these 2 infantry parties, one with mage support, one without. He seems to be a bit desperate, just trying to get a foothold back in this game again. He had an agenda, he was trying to gain control of the map, and it didn't quite work out. The timing just happened that BoNT counterattacked, and that money was spent instead of on defending against that counterattack on trying to spread his wings. And meanwhile, BoNT is just continuing to build his military here. He's got 2 full infantry parties, archers, Slann, and the 2 cavalry parties. If we look over here, Zeza is left just with 2 engineers and 2 infantry. And he's a bit cornered. Cornered isn't the right word. He definitely has a bit spread out over the map, but BoNT definitely has the superior military and the more mobile military. Going to just take out that fort and move back. We got plus 50 against plus 59. This went to a factory over here and a wood export. The 288 gold plus 10 econ buildings, as opposed to the bank and iron export, which are 132 gold but give plus 15. So going for the cheaper econ buildings. And back over here, back at everyone's bases, what's going on? Okay, Zeza is going to move down and run right into this Haroon. He is, again, making a counterattack, knowing that BoNT's military is going to be a little out of position, and he doesn't even move in to try to contest that. Zeza is going to easily be able to take this settlement, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 settlements against 1, 2, 3 settlements. BoNT has not been able to hold any of his kind of hinterland settlements, forced back into just the 3 that he had at the beginning, but he's got a huge army. And he has the supply, the resources to support it as well. Workshops just do a huge job in giving him everything he needs. Workshops and that is giving him plus 12 out of there, plus 12 wood. Over here, just plus 1 wood, but over here, also a bunch more iron with the blacksmith and the temple. Okay, he's starting to think about moving out again, and Zeza is just scurrying back to his middle foothold. 180, 90, 190 gold. What is he going to do with that? This is kind of his chance to do something. He has a lot of gold. He's making more money than BoNT is. BoNT has a large army that looks imposing, and is, but with 1 or 2 more good units coming out of Zeza, he would not be that afraid of this army. What's he going to try to do with it? What's he going to try to do? Everyone is moving out. Again, going to try to take a further control of the map with his money. Unclear what he did with all of it, though. Oh, went for a blast furnace there and went for an outpost there. BoNT's army is just kind of chilling here, and they're ready to make a move pretty soon. And as soon as I said that, everyone starts moving. Up here, engineers have gotten an outpost to be able to get that wood. And he put it in a good position. If there's an attack coming, I mean, if they come from this direction, the outpost isn't going to help that much, but if they come from this direction, the outpost is there where it can help defend, and it's using its primary purpose of getting that ironwood growth. Over here, Zeza has built that outpost, presumably waiting for some gold to start to get one of those. -4 Koldahite right now because of both of these parties that have mage support. But plus 84 is a very nice econ number. And that's coming from, down here. He snuck in this other outpost and the gold deposit and the stone outcropping. So that's going to be huge for his econ. He's not in bad position right now. He just needs to be able to defend. Oh, and BoNT is moving in over here. 6 parties, 3 infantry, 2 cavalry, 1 archer in the back. Is, again, an imposing party that's going to be able to take these guys down. But let's see what the battle goes. Spellcasters are very strong. And what does BoNT have for spellcasters? It does not look like he has any right now. He has the defensive spellcasters in the Slan party, which are definitely not to be ignored. But with 2 parties of full spellcaster backing for Zeza, I think he's looking pretty. And again, plus 84 against plus 63, he's looking pretty good. Back over here, outpost, just to kind of continue to build some supply zone. And BoNT is going to be moving in with those engineers and is starting to take over these outposts. Zeza is going to fall back to his settlement, give his guys a chance to get back a little bit. It looks like he might have lost. Yes. No. Yeah, he lost engineers. He rebuilt some new ones, immediately coming back to the fray. And moving back out. Strange move. He went backwards to try to get into the supply and in the guard zone of this, but then abandon these, but then decided to move back in. So that was a bit of a misplay. Instead of relying on his militia, he just put his guys out there kind of out of impatience more than anything else. Moving on, though, doing good damage. This is a very close fight. Slan retreating, Lancers retreating, and that's a retreat for BoNT. He has been putting outposts closer and closer, and again, the reason for that is supply zone. If he didn't have that outpost there, he would have to go back here to resupply. If he didn't have that there, he'd have to go all the way back there. Now he's able to kind of continue to bring the battle to Zeza. retreat just a little bit to a defensive position, resupply, and continue to apply that pressure. Going over here, Zeza's kind of same old, up to 150, so he better do something good with that gold right now. He's in a pretty critical position. And everyone is just sitting pretty right now. The calm before the next storm. BoNT, no new components to speak of. More Lancers coming out. And he has a lot of wood. I imagine he's going to do something like that. Something with that to just continue to bolster his military, because that's all he needs to do right now. He definitely has Zeza scared. Zeza feels very pinned down right here. Taking more gold mines, plus 76 against plus 57. So BoNT's econ has been pretty stagnant for a while. It's making a decent amount and supporting him, but there's been no growth. And again, moving back in with his big army. Zeza's got his army here, the same army he's had. He's got to move these guys into a better position. They're just all pressed right now, and they're going to get a bad attack penalty if they just go into battle like that. Okay, getting over here to the side, trying to do a flank, and these engineers need to get into battle because these guys just moved right in there and got decimated. Infantry out of position. These infantry are up here fighting these infantry. Overall, Zeza's army just got a little out of position. They engage at different times and were able to just get picked off a little bit one by one. These engineers are just in no man's land. Went back, are aggroing militia, fighting those scouts. Lancers are going to come, probably take them out. And again, BoNT is continuing to spread those outposts and continuing to just completely lock out Zeza here. With these three outposts, rather, he now has continuous supply zone. He can retreat to any side from these battles, and Zeza's not going to be able to move out. This outpost going down, and slowly but surely, BoNT is taking over this part of the town. Plus 96, again, against plus 54. Zeza's econ is continuing to rise, and BoNT's econ is continuing to stay the same. And this is going to be how Zeza has a chance to win this game. What is he going to do, though? He lost a unit. I'm trying to see exactly who. Looks like he lost engineers. Yeah, the guys who just got lost over here. And infantry, engineers, more infantry. He needs something more powerful. With all this econ he's building, there's got to be something better coming out. Now, this upgraded, went to a blast furnace. I mean, more infantry with spellcasters would be nice, but teching up to something a little better would be even nicer. If he just threw a barracks down somewhere, I went for the woodmill instead. If he threw a barracks down somewhere and was able to get some Grens or get some goons, then he might have a fighting chance this battle, because he just doesn't have anything quite strong enough. And he doesn't have any DPS like those archers that BoNT has been having all game. And with two archer parties and a very strong front line, he's going to be able to dish out so much more damage than Zeza is going to be able to. Okay, moving in again. This might be the final attack, people. No more outposts left. Let's see what Zeza can do. Trying to flank again, but everyone is taking a bit to get into battle. But a nice flank going down there right on those archers. And BoNT very wisely just decides to get out of there. These guys are trying to come from behind, but ran into that fort, got stopped a little bit. And they are going to stop the retreat. And BoNT is just going to say, fuck it, we're just going to fight right here. Everybody is just sitting in a ball here. And Lancers and Engineers coming down from the south are going to take out those guys easily. The rest of Zeza's army on the retreat. And this might be it, folks. This is getting pretty scary. This is a large army, and nothing super threatening. He doesn't have leets or anything. He doesn't have goons. It's all just infantry, archers, and lancers, but that's kind of all you need. The archers are able to deal out DPS, and he has enough of a front line to stop the pretty small army that Zeza has. Zeza's still up in econ, but he hasn't done anything with it. Plus 170. Getting a library here. He might be going for leets. I don't know. That seems too little too late. He's got to get some units out now. If he spends the next 2 minutes just making components to get leets, that's not going to be enough. And at plus 91 and 240 gold, he's doing a lot better than BoNT is here on that front. But look at the map. I mean, he's got these things hidden away here, but aside from that, he's got 2 settlements. Getting a temple, I think he is going to be going for those leets here. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be enough. Look at this army. Royalists have a lot of supply, and that is a really nice benefit of them. They get 2 supply instead of 1 per settlement. And BoNT has used that to its fullest. He is just continuing to get the cheap units. There's the 2 options. You tech up and you get smaller amounts of good units, or you just swarm. And he's swarming right now. And I really think that's what Royalists are good at. Their elites are not that impressive comparatively, like council elites or nationalist elites are a lot more threatening than the cavaliers, especially since cavaliers you often don't even want to put good spellcasters in the background. Though I think they're really good with celebrants. Or no, shadow priests. I forget the other one. Shadow priests and not sorceress, but one of the other damage spellcasters that has 22 move in Royalist. Anyways, moving over here, BoNT is going to continue this push. And at plus 79 econ now against minus 41. Look at that. 2 elite parties. This is the last ditch effort. This is the minus 20 call to height. The final attempt to not lose this game. But what can he do? The army is coming in now. He's going to have a total of 4 elite warriors and no spellcasters to speak of. And it wasn't even worth building spellcasters. He should have just built short ones, had a little bit more of an econ. Because by the time the battle was coming to his door, he wasn't going to have those spellcasters. Splitting up his army, these guys moving in, and this is the thing. He should have just kept his army together, sold all this off, had that one strong army that might have had the chance to defend and then counterattack. That was the only chance here. This happening, however, these 2 parties are just going to go down, and he's going to try to move in there with those leads. Still no spellcasters up, though. He's got the Kohans. They're going to do good stuff. They're going to be able to counterattack a little bit here. But it looks like BoNT is still going to be able to take this settlement. Nope, he's retreating. A little bit of a chance for Zeza. But look at this. Outpost going down. BoNT is continuing to just further his position on the map by putting outposts everywhere he goes, so he is never far out of supply. Lancers moving in. Bowmen moving in. Look at this. Just little Lancers and Slanry and the 2 Bowmen. This is a lot of DPS. This is probably going to be able to take down those elites, because there's just nothing else to the party. Trying to retreat there. Going to take out 1 party of elites. Plus 55 gold and plus 21. Against plus 95. GG. Zeza's conceding here. This is the game. There's nothing else he could do. And the Royalist Swarm wins again. So what happened that game? Like I said, it was a Royalist Swarm. BoNT was doing a really good job of just continuing to make pretty much as many. He was staying pretty close to his supply. Just as soon as he got more supply, building more guys. And stayed at a pretty mid-level econ the whole game and didn't really put any money into trying to further it. But he put his money into a military that was able to just take over the map. Zeza kept trying to kind of like sneak in more econ, and every time he was in a position where he had extra money to spend, he just tried to spend it on econ buildings, and as such, he was just never able to get enough of military to deal with BoNT. He had to have seen that swarm coming and see what BoNT was up to and kind of retaliate in a better way. All he had, even if he just had a couple archer parties that were able to add some DPS and make it more of a fair fight, where the defender's advantage would have been enough, he would have been able to keep his settlements. He would have been able to further his econ like he wanted to. But he got a bit greedy trying to further his econ, and BoNT just did a great job of just swooping over the map and leaving Zeza no options. Alright, that's it for that game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Glad to have someone else to play with and put games up on here, and anyone want to play, I say this every video, but you got my contact info. I love Kohan. I want everyone else to play it. Thank you guys so much for watching.